It's Monday, July the 11th, 2016, which is, I guess, 3 days after UFC 200. So this is our post-UFC 200 show with KGB, Kendrick Black Dynamite Williams.
Boy.
Oh, the Amanda the Lady Killer Bell and Wendy Starr. Obviously, we have one key missing cast member who we're going to bring up throughout the night since she can't defend herself. That'd be Andy Nguyen.
Right here. Bam.
Yeah, that's her.
Yeah.
What happened?
Hold on. First of all, I'm supposed to be pouring that. Okay.
Yeah.
Cheers.
So anyway, so let, to the subject at hand, right? So UFC 200. It's been a long week. This has been International Fight Week, and I guess they started fighting Wednesday, man. Wednesday night we had our first fights, and that was what that was.
That was on the show.
That was tough. That was the last episode of Tough, right? So then Thursday we had fights, and then Friday we had the finale, and then Saturday we had fights, and it's been a long weekend or week really of fights, and it's almost been overwhelming. I've enjoyed it. I'm not gonna say I hadn't enjoyed it, but a lot of the fights, the outcomes of the fights didn't go my way.
Sorry.
What'd you think about UFC 200, Andrea?
I thought that...
Go break the whole thing down.
No, I can't break the whole thing down, but I thought that it could have been a little bit better.
Could have been better? In what way?
I thought the fights could have been a little more exciting. I mean, I enjoyed watching Kat Zingano and Amanda Nunes fight, even though I thought what did I say?
They didn't fight.
I meant Misha Tate.
You enjoyed watching that fight? So while the rest of us were watching
I meant
UFC
Misha Tate.
200,
Well, I was thinking about the Kat Zingano fight, too.
The fight that could have taken place between Kat Zingano and Amanda Nunes.
No. I was thinking
the rest
about...
of us were watching the real... You're suspended.
Come on.
What do you think about the fights? The real fights, not the ones we saw when we were eating mushrooms.
The fights, I was disappointed that there weren't more finishes. So
What do you credit that to? There wasn't more finishes. Why? Because you think there weren't more finishes because it's that competitive in the top 10 when you get to UFC 200 and they've got all those top 10 guys compete. You think it's that competitive there, or do you think guys are playing safe, or do you think it's bad matchmaking? What do you credit the lack of finishes at UFC 200 to?
I don't know. For me, I felt like they put a lot of people on there that were either coming off of major losses or been gone for a little while. So I don't know. There seemed to be a lot of people I think maybe had ring rust. So I don't know. That's just my opinion on the whole situation. But that's the championship fight, that was straight nothing but two girls gritting down. Amanda and Tate both, have been very successful in their last few fights, keeping it going, so they finished it. But I don't know, I just felt like maybe too long of layoffs on a majority of these guys kept them, from maybe really succeeding, because Lesnar's been gone a while, Aldo's been gone a while, Northcutt's been gone a while, Pena's been gone a while. Zingano's coming off a big loss, so that's just my opinion.
I kind of saw a changing of the guard in some ways at UFC 200. It's like some of the guys who I thought might reign supreme for the next 7 or 8 or 10 years. I thought I saw him. Hendricks, man. I love Johnny. Big Rig, come on, man. But that's 2 in a row, and he looked worse this time than he looked against Thompson, And
Aldo wasn't even throwing kicks. I think that's something you and I talked about, was we're just like, why isn't he kicking? Because that's what everyone, Aldo's known for his savage kicks.
He might have had an injury that nobody knew about.
Who cares?
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is true.
Yeah.
But I did watch. I I saw some of those shots of Conor watching the fight with Aldo.
His,
You know what I mean?
yeah, just
Well, you know, that's what
stood
people
up,
say.
looking at him.
What I saw was a fighter who was intently watching
for sure.
a fight because at some point down the road, one of those guys he's going to have to fight. Next, yeah.
Yeah, I like for me, I don't know. There was a whole lot of just leg riding that was going on. I was getting so irritated with that whole dry hump and hold you down and punch you in the head, but not have it be successful. If you're gonna
I've
hold
got
someone down and
respect for
punch them,
that,
finish
man.
it. I don't know.
It's hard to watch for 6 fights in a row, though. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind. I don't mind watching a couple of guys leg ride and win a fight. But you put a card together where you've got 6 leg riders. That's tough to watch.
I think Pena actually had more action in her ground than anybody else.
Yeah, she did.
For being gone as long as she did,
Mm-hmm.
she kept the action moving. Even the night before with the finale. Like, I'm sorry, but the guy who won the finale did the same thing, and everybody was booing that fight. I felt bad for Rowntree because he seemed to not know how to get up. I think there was even an article or something that came out, a video. He was telling his mom to shut up, I guess, because he couldn't hear his cornerman. So you hear him going, "Mom, shut up! Mom, shut up!" He's just telling his mom to just calm down and shut up.
Oh, wow.
You know, but yeah, he just got leg dry.
never
He got
had
dry
to
hump the
say
whole
that.
time, and. Yeah, I mean, I've heard of Dana talk about how he can't stand people like that. So even when, like, he brought the trophy and he was kind of like, "Congratulations, here you go," and he walked out. You know, he didn't seem as enthused about it as the girl fight.
Right.
You know, like and those two. Oh man, Amanda Bobby Cooper's no joke, but that other gal, that's the first time.
What was her name? Suarez.
Suarez.
She's a gangster, dude.
She is a stud wrestler.
A little bit of experience, and I think she's an immediate threat.
Yeah.
In the top 5. You know what I'm saying?
Well, her grappling game is already very well rounded.
Yeah,
I think.
she needs somebody to polish up her striking so that she's able to close the gap without getting beat up.
Because
you know
she's
what I
got
mean?
jiu-jitsu, she does it in the gi, her years and years of wrestling. It's
Miss Wendy Starr.
Oh, you're on.
Yeah.
Beer winch.
What do I need to do?
Bring me more ale.
Do I need to pull out my knife and go ting ting?
So do we want?
I want the beer.
Well,
The beer's
for
in the
us.
cooler.
the beer. I'm gonna make sure that everybody.
That's for us.
Okay.
That's for us classy.
Good bartender.
Yeah.
Good bartender.
We're classy over here. We're drinking.
Kung Fu Theater.
Is that how you say that?
No, it's
That
Kung,
looks like the chick
it's
from
Kung
the
Fu
ring.
Girl. Give me that. Give me that. All right. I'm going to talk real lively about this wine because this is a Northwest wine. It comes from Washington, and it is an award-winning wine out in Oregon. I've had it before. This is Kung Fu Girl. It's a Riesling.
Kung Fu Girl.
Give it a try. The best. It fits the theme. It fits the theme because we've got sake.
Do you want me to put this in?
Andrew's back here stuffing her face with
base
sushi.
or we gonna do that in there.
No,
Hey,
we're
for the
yeah,
sake,
this
right?
just the sake.
The man
stuff,
wants
yeah.
a
Or
beer.
some sake and grab. Yes.
Excuse me,
Where's the
burp.
beers? Are they in the
Mm-hmm.
cooler? Put them in the cooler.
You're about to get
They're in the
fired.
cooler, yeah.
You're about to be fired.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might need 2 beer tub girls next week. One for the beer tub, one for the sake.
She tried to bring a second one.
One to pour the wine.
Thank you, Wendy Starr.
Beer, so
Oh man.
I know you like it.
No, I don't drink the pinger. That's a pinger. I don't drink the pinger.
Oh my God, Donnie.
That's backwash.
Down there.
That's
It's a banger.
That's backwash. Throw it away. That's blasphemy.
I don't even
That's
drink my
beer
own
blasphemy there.
backwash. I'm too gross. My herpes might be inflamed.
So you just said that on camera.
Well, I don't want to give myself no herpes.
You haven't
know what
seen
I'm
the
saying?
second episode. There's a lot of things
All
to say
right.
on camera.
Put this in here and heat it up.
Yeah,
But for
heat it
real,
up.
Congratulations to Amanda Nunes. What a way to go out. And
I agree, man. I agree.
Bring home that gold.
So let's talk about that
Yeah,
for a second.
I meant to say Tate, huh?
100% I'm with you there. Congratulations, Amanda Nunes, hyphen Leo, whatever she goes by these days. But she's the real deal, and she pieced up Misha
Yeah, she looked great.
and made her look like she didn't really even
Not being timid,
and belong in the same cage with her. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
no fear.
But here's what we've seen now. So Rhonda gets dethroned. Holly defends, and she gets dethroned. Misha defends, and she gets dethroned. So now we've got Amanda, who's got the title. So who is going to stabilize that division?
Probably.
They're all concerned about, oh, well, if we open a 125 division for the women, shit, that division's in chaos. People are bucking and jockeying right now. They ain't going nowhere. People in that division realize how unstable that division is, and anybody can win the title at any time at 135. Why would they abandon that division to go to a thicker weight class?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
I think I think Amanda has complete and full potential to hold on to that belt.
For sure.
I spent a little time down in Florida and got to get some time on the mats with her here and there. And the girl's a wild card. Her and both Dina Ansaroff put in nothing but time and work into their game. They put nothing but time into their training every morning, every night. Very dedicated, and she's very well rounded. I think she has every ability to hang on to that belt.
Yeah, or nay?
Oh, mine's right here, honey. Thank you, though.
Yeah. So we're doing we're gonna do a shot of Geki Khan Saki tonight because we're all after UFC 200 we're all feeling like samurais.
Oh, wait.
So
no.
You are so fired after this.
yeah, no
Just
shit.
like,
Yeah.
Like,
that's enough. Stop.
her bartending skills are in question right now.
Right? You be costing them money. You see that? Cheers, everybody.
Right on. Here we go.
I'm gonna try it.
It's good. Very smooth.
Oh,
Very
word.
smooth.
Not too bad.
Very smooth. Very smooth.
Great.
But real, I hope to see Amanda be the one to stabilize it out. She's got a lot of tools in her bag that I don't think she's been able to fully introduce. So
She's definitely got the hands.
yeah, I don't think people know
She
enough
got
about her to be
hands.
able to determine anything. She's great. I really hope that she hangs on to that belt and is able to ride it out long enough for people to take a look at her and be like, wow, she's hanging on to this belt. She does have the skill. She's a great fighter. Lift the stigma a little bit and be able to.
But here again, let's go back to this though, matchmaking, right? So Ronda Rousey was the champion for so long, but look how they matched her, right? They didn't match her against girls who had a legitimate shot at beating her. But ever since she lost, it's like they're intentionally matching these girls with the worst possible opponent they can find for them stylistically. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're trying to get these bras knocked off until they get who they want back in there.
Yeah, they're trying to save their poster children.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well,
that's the way I feel.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Which brings in the question for me, we all have this news now about UFC selling itself and getting out of Zuffa.
I mean, how can that be a bad thing, honestly? I mean, there's a lot of times you think the grass is always greener or it couldn't get any worse. Well, it probably could get worse. I hope that this sale doesn't make it worse. I hope that this sale improves it. But they're leaving Dana White in as the CEO or whatever.
He's the
President, excuse me. Yeah, he's going to be the president of the organization. Which so that by itself tells me that there's not a lot of shit that's going to change. Maybe that Reebok deal will change. Who knows how that'll happen? Yeah. I know a lot of people got their finger crossed, huh? No, the Fertitta sold it.
Have really weeded
The
themselves
Fertitta
out.
sold it for $4 billion yesterday.
$4 billion?
$4 billion yesterday.
Yeah, they went out, and I think the UFC
Billion with
was
the
like
buh.
$2 million.
With a
Yeah, they went out with a
Yeah.
bang, and I think they still have some small percentage in the company still, but it's so minimal at this point in time. But they went out on their shield. But yeah, I actually, my big question, which maybe when people watch this, they can
Floyd Mayweather said $4 billion. He said, "Shit, I gambled that on a basketball game."
No, what was it that he was like $2 million or something on the what football team was it to win?
Did he really?
The ones that got stomped out by the Seahawks. I don't watch football, but who the hell was it?
I don't know.
It was the Broncos.
Was it
the Broncos?
Yeah, it was the Broncos.
Yeah, it was so funny looking at his facial expressions. They're stressing about it.
Guess it's a good thing Mayweather didn't buy it.
Yeah, it was
One of
hilarious.
the top-rated poker champs in the world lost $1 million bet on Michitati.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's why they call it gambling.
I would have never bet that much on
Right.
Michigan.
How do we always end up on camera and you end up eating? We're always having fun. You always eat.
Let's have some good-ass sushi. She just put it in my mouth. and
That's
it-
fine. I had some good sushi too, but I ate it
Y'all
for
ate it earlier.
I don't know, we stuffed ourselves a pizza. That's...
I'm trying to be like,
That was spicy, Andrew. You didn't even tell me.
But my biggest question that I want to know, actually, that after this switch, Zuffa's no longer in the picture anymore. I'm curious what that's going to do to Chris Cyborg's contract, because she just had her first fight. Her contract has always been with Zuffa. I mean, if I know anything about business, things just kind of roll over into the next thing. So will her contract go to the WMEIMG that's taking over, or what's going to happen with her contract? I kind of thought about that earlier.
I'm curious about that too. I think that Dana has been pulling the strings on which weight class was where, and I think the Zuffa brothers didn't give a shit, didn't have much say over what. I'm hoping that this new.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I want to swap something out. I can't. Wendy is a.
That's Zuffa, right?
Zuffa.
Oh, she don't need a microphone.
Zuffa. Promise.
Well, I can't hear. And she talks.
It's spelled Zuffa, but you say it's Zuffa.
Zuffa. Not Zuffa. Zuffa.
There ain't no Zuffa.
No one's ever called it Zuffa.
There ain't a Zuffa.
Yes.
There's the Fertitas, but it's Zuffa.
Schoolmate.
It's supposed to do somewhere.
So you've been getting questions already?
Yeah, some, but I'm gonna wait till they're through talking about it.
Oh, I was talking to her.
Her? Yeah.
Yeah, we've been getting questions. She gets tagged in them too, so we're
Oh, Wendy.
questions.
Check, 2, 1, 2.
That's much
Check.
Much
How many
better.
hats do you have?
Yeah. I was thinking when I was like,
Yeah, I think you gotta quit saying that it's live, because we're not live, and we're getting that question like, how do I watch the stream live? We're not live, yeah. So quit labeling it as live. Just be like, we're recording the
Yeah.
next day. I put more, we're working on, we're setting up for next.
Okay.
I got to wear that.
Okay, right on. That's cool. He said we might go live next week.
Yeah.
He said we might go live next
Went
week.
everywhere but.
Where we leave off when you cut us, man?
Y'all talking about.
y'all were talking about Zuffa, and y'all were talking about the new people
Yeah.
that bought out UFC and the contracts.
Okay, I know I'm at.
Yeah, my question was is this gonna change, say, Chris Cyborg's contract?
The Cyborg's contract. And my response to that, or my thought on that, is that I hope that the new ownership has more influence and more give a shit about what goes on inside the company, and not give Dana White carte blanche rule over the company. Because I think if they do that and they look at the marketability of some of the girls in the other weight classes that aren't included in the UFC, the 145-pound division, the 125-pound division, the 105-pound division, I think they can complete every division within the next 18 months to 2 years without it adversely affecting any other division. But the women deserve the same opportunity to compete as the men do. A man doesn't have to decide. Let's say a guy is he's a natural 145 pounder, but they don't have that weight class. So they got the 135s and the 155s, and he's got to choose. You know, that's not fair. That's not fair to that
Destroys
guy.
your body over time too.
Well, for sure, and you never really know who the best fighter is or who the best athlete is at that weight class. You know, so with the men from 125 on, everybody's covered. You have got a division to compete in. But with the women, you've got to conform to either a 135 or a 115 division, and if you can't do that, then you're stuck fighting in, somewhere other than the UFC.
Yeah.
How do you think that would affect people's pay if they brought in just suddenly a bunch more people to add to the weight classes of the roster?
Yeah.
You know, that'd be a lot of fighters, I think, to
Well, sure.
get everybody enough fights at a time.
But, I look at some of the fights that they have on the undercards and the prelims and the fight pass, and I'm thinking to myself, man, I see chick fights all the time that aren't even televised that are at least this exciting and a lot of times more exciting, and they're not. They don't even have that weight class in the UFC. So don't tell me you can't add the 125 or the 145 and get solid fights. Yeah. Put Chris Cyborg in a fight with anybody at 145, and it's going to be an exciting fight. It's going to sell tickets. Don't tell me you can't add that division. I've been seeing some pictures of Ronda Rousey. She might need a 145-pound division when she comes back.
I saw the Metro PGS commercial. They put her in a black T-shirt because it's slimming.
Well, I totally look. I don't want to get it twisted. I totally respect her and the fact that she brought women to the UFC. But I also respect the fact that women's MMA is progressing at a rate that men's MMA progressed in the late '90s and the early 2000s, and you know the growth that it experienced. And it was kind of like the I don't know the what do they call it? In evolution, the Big Bang. It was like the Big Bang of MMA, right? So that's what's going on right now with women's MMA. It's like the Big Bang of women's MMA because you're seeing. We're used to you struggled to name 5 fighters in any 5 female fighters in any weight class. Now, most fans who are not even necessarily hardcore fans, but just the casual fan can name 10 or 15 girls. You know what I mean? And that's, to me, that's a step in the right direction for women's MMA.
Yeah, the sport I feel has grown like immensely faster than the men's did. Something about it is, you know, has its appeal to, you know, each their own, but it has grown intensely quick, I think. And I really look at, you know, the effect that Ronda Rousey being in the UFC has had, and then before that Invicta bringing all these girls forward to show that there are females out there. That was a huge impact for us as well. Because, I mean, back in the day, Elite XC days, and when women were finally allowed to even fight pro fights, they only let them do 3-minute rounds.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, I remember that.
Yeah, and now we've got it up to 5, but, you know, I just hope to see some progress and with the 135s. And see, again, like I was saying before, see Amanda Nunes hold on to that belt and keep focus on somebody who is a good role model and a great champion and has the ability to hang on to that belt and, you know, keep it for a long extended period of time. Because that seems to be what, of course, is going to keep your name rolling. Because you look at Anderson Silva and how long he had that belt and the attention he got, and it's, you know, it changes hands.
She's really sweet.
And it changes hands after a little while.
Speaking of Anderson Silva, was it or was it not sad to watch him?
Very sad.
It was sad to watch him fight Daniel Cormier out of his weight class, out of his era. To fight one of the greatest that's a weight class heavier than him, you know, man. To me, I wish that fight would never have taken place. Honestly.
It's weird to see Anderson Silva out of his prime and out of his weight class like that. I was happy to see that, you know, Cormier was still going to fight, and it was cool to see Silva come back. That was a strange, you know, combination. But that just goes to show, I think, where you see, you know, fighters like Silva and even Conor McGregor when he stepped up in weight class to just to be able to fight. Good fighters who stay prepared can really do that.
And you know, I was glad to see that Cormier was able to save his place on the card and to save his purse on the card and his financial return in his investment on that card, because initially, you know, John Jones had his issues and he was pulled from the card and you know, fortunately for Daniel Cormier, he was able to fight and still make his money. But that brings me to another subject. So everybody, man, John Jones this, John Jones high on cocaine, blah, blah, blah. People didn't even stop to think, hold up. You know, he's been accused twice, and yes, he's been wrong a couple times and has admitted his fault and all this. But let's see how I kept saying, let's see how this plays out. Let's see what happens. And I don't know, because I haven't seen it on any reliable news reporting sources, but I'm hearing that what he tested hot for was a sleep aid. And we talked about that shit a couple weeks ago or a week ago. If that's the case, I think that not only was John Jones cheated, I think that every UFC fan that bought UFC 200 was cheated out of watching a great fight.
Excuse me.
I actually saw that Chael Sonnen was talking shit and saying that he was popped for an estrogen blocker. I don't know how credible his response is, if it really is true, or if he's just being Chael Sonnen and talking shit. But
Chael Sonnen has probably taken some estrogen blockers himself in his day, so I'm pretty sure he's familiar with that shit. Yeah. But you know, Maybe he's right. Maybe he's not. I mean, if Chael Sonnen wants to have a shit talk contest with me, I'm just going to stab him, and we'll go because I can't win. I can't win a shit. I cannot win a shit talk contest with Chael Sonnen. So I'm just going to stab him in the throat so he can't talk.
He's funny. He's an Oregon man. Some of my teammates from Animals MMA actually have trained with him back Team Quest and Oregon BJJ days and stuff before all that went over. He's helped a lot of our guys down there up there with their wrestling and so forth. But my coach used to tell me stories about Chael in practice and how he would he'd talk to himself, so he'd go, he'd take a guy down and be like, "Oh, good takedown, Chael. Great, great groundwork. Nice ground and pound, Chael." He would just sit there
himself in third person. It's like he's having a conversation with another guy, but it's Chael. It's like Chael, hey Chael, you're the baddest son of a bitch around. I love that guy. I talk like I don't, but I like Chael. I think he's
What are you that you said about him? How his mouth has gotten him.
Man, look,
The Hall of Fame.
he will talk himself into the Hall of Fame first ballot because he's a great fighter, but he's a world-class shit talker, greater than Ali, and that's hard to say. Ali was the GOAT in boxing. And he was the GOAT in shit talking for a long time. But to me, it's like Chael Sonnen is the Ric Flair of MMA. You know what I'm saying? He's ready to rock with Mean Gene anytime. All right, so we got some questions. I know questions are coming in, so we're going to get a reader of the questions, which will be Wendy Styra.
I got some right here.
Yeah, read Amanda Bell's questions first. We'll answer those.
South TV.
Okay.
So who's saying it?
All right. At Dirty South TV, does KGB Lee have a fight strategist on her team? If so, what is their name, please?
Answer the question. It wasn't to me. It was to
Answer the
you.
question, Andrea.
Donny Aaron.
Husband and head coach.
Yeah,
All right.
of course.
He also asked the Dirty South TV, does your team do any local road races, in parentheses, running, or other community sports events? If so, please list them.
Yeah.
We run a lot of charity 5Ks and stuff like that. We do a lot of that kind of stuff.
Which one's the last time we did?
Firecracker 500 was what, July?
No, we did one here recently. I can't remember what the name of it was. What that one that I ran in, and
Yeah.
it was for bullies. It was against bullies.
Oh, anti-bullying thing.
Anti-bullying
Okay.
race, yeah. For
Yeah, I'm always for that. I'm always chasing bullies and trying to beat them up, so that's cool to me.
anti-bullying for kids that were out of shape, and needed to run, stuff like that.
I think that's a really important subject too, because my partner, her 13-year-old, was getting bullied on social media through Instagram. Somebody made a fake Instagram about her because it was ridiculous. Just these kids were mad because a kid got expelled because he brought marijuana to school and she didn't lie about it, so he got in trouble and expelled, and these kids just started ganging up on her. So I can see where that type of stuff I really am a huge advocate for, because you see so many kids who just don't know how to talk to adults. They don't know how to come forward with things. Bullying is a very real issue, and if it seems like your kid has any kind of emotional distraughts when they're coming home from school, don't ignore it. Don't just assume, it's just teenage stuff, because you never know what's going on. You never know.
Yeah.
She even came home from school, and so one of those little girls got up in her face and was threatening her, because whoever made these Instagrams were trying to act like they were her, trying to cause problems and cause fights and so forth, and it was just a huge issue. So, she came home really upset and didn't tell us about it. And then when all this came forward, we're like, why didn't you tell us that someone threatened you at school? She's like, well, I went to a guidance counselor and we never got a phone call at the house, nothing like that, So, you can't even rely on our own education system to be, doing something about this stuff, because they sure keep it hush hush, while they're working on it, is basically what they made it sound like. But we never got a phone call that, she came to a counselor and said she was getting threatened by some girl at school and this and that.
Right.
It's just, I just don't understand where, people step in to prevent these things from happening, to give these kids a gateway.
Right.
What did they end up doing about it, though?
Well, my partner went down and sure got pissed off at him for the whole situation, because they were waiting, because they were setting this all up. Little girls were just, whoever was pretending to be my partner's 12-year-old was like, oh, come to this bathroom at 8:50, and she's like, yeah, I'll be there. I'm like, see, like these kids are trying to set her up to get jumped, just it was ridiculous.
That
but
reminds me of like a Dumb and Dumber scene where it was like meet Seabass in the stall at 11:10 on September the 11th.
Yeah, we're sitting across from this principal telling him about it. I'm like, are you going to send someone to that bathroom to go see if these girls are waiting there? And he kind of was like, yeah, like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Like, if you don't do something, I will. So, yeah, those types of things drive me absolutely.
So we got a question we didn't answer. What else we got? What we got?
Straight up says, question for Amanda.
Did you lose it?
What are your thoughts on Chris fighting at 140 in the UFC? Is it a waste without a 145 division?
I think it's a waste of her time because unless somebody's willing to take that weight and meet her there, what's the point? There is no weight class for her. So I'm sure there's a whole lot of underlying things that they gave her as to why they, opened up the doors for her. She's been trying for so long, but they won't put in the entire 145 weight class in there for whatever the reasons may be. I mean, we don't have many girls, and I understand that. It would be a really shallow weight class, but the woman can't sit on the fence forever, with her career and not have something happen. So, I don't know. I think it's just kind of a waste of her time unless they can really give her somebody legitimate. Because, I mean, Invicta was fighting her opponents. Hell, they flew that Ibragimova girl over from Russia. And said, here, she's a grappling champion, sambo, and sumo champion, which was really strange. I never met a girl who did sumo before, so that was kind of neat. But, that girl put on a good fight, got Cyborg, almost to the second round, and she fought hard. So why can't the UFC do that is my question. Why can't they outreach like that, like Invicta does, and right? And because they brought this woman over from Russia. Never had a fight in the UFC in Invicta FC before, but they still found somebody for her to fight. And I just think that the first fight that they gave her, Leslie Smith is a good fighter, but she's a 125er, isn't she? She fights.
She was at one point, but a lot of these girls that used to be and everybody's like, oh, they could be 125. They used to fight 125. Misha almost didn't make weight at 35 this time. She's 35 and a half. She almost didn't make weight. She'd have never made 25, and she'll never make 25 again in my mind. I don't think Misha could ever make 25 again. And I think a lot of the girls that used to make 25 and are now 35ers are 35ers. And I think a lot of the 35ers are struggling to make 35 and pushing 45. So you open up that 45 weight class, a lot of the 55ers can make 45. And honestly, in the women's division, 145 is the last respectable division in women's MMA. I think above 145, it starts to lose credibility, respectability. But I think a lot of those 155-pound girls with some dietary discipline can make 45, and make that a thicker division,
Okay. Next question. KGB wins the next fight.
Ooh.
I don't really have a next fight lined up.
We got a grappling match coming, a pro grappling match. It's going to be on flowgrappling.com. August the 6th? August the 6th, flowgrappling.com. She's facing a brown belt world champion in Jessica Dobbs. Outside of that, we're working on getting a couple of fights lined up when her suspension is up. And her suspension is up when?
December. When? Or when it's in December 12th, or whenever I pay them.
Or whenever you stop breaking the rules, right?
December the 12th. Just December the 12th.
Breaking the law. Yeah, Judas Priest. We need to intro this Outlaw MMA hour to is breaking the law.
Hey, both of you two, real quick. People want to know, how do you watch the stream live?
Well, the stream is not live yet, and we've run into a lot of obstacles on making the stream live. There's a lot of things that we're still trying to figure out. Maybe we'll do it live in the next few weeks, and maybe it'll just stay 1 week tape delayed. I don't know. We'll just have to see how it works out.
KGB, how many hats do you have?
Right now I have 4. And I'm just waiting on my sponsor, Ink Billy Styles, to send me another.
Where's your black one?
My black one, I decided to do straw today. because it's summertime and it's, summer hat.
We're outlaws. We don't go by seasons.
I do sometimes.
Okay, from at Chick Fights Rock. Question for KGB. If the UFC opens up a 125 division for WMMA, who would you want to fight first?
I really don't have anybody in mind that I want to fight first. I would just, whoever they put in front of me. I don't have a particular person.
I got a question now. If they opened up the 125 tough, show or something, would you try out for that? Do you think?
Hopefully they would just call me. I don't know how to try out.
I ain't gotta be away for 6, 7, 8 weeks.
But
yeah.
Okay, this is a question for both of y'all. Are you limited by your walkout song, or can you choose any song you want? I imagine some get expensive. Thank you. That's from @CodeBlue1974.
Well, I mean, it's normally been whatever you want, as long as it doesn't have too many foul.
We just
foul
talked
words.
about that. The ass fab or ass cab or ass scab or whatever the hell it's called. And you can't play your own shit anymore.
Yeah, they're starting to make it.
You can't play your own shit anymore because they got if you play a part of a song, you have to pay a fee to that musician, right? So that's why they have those free song genres. You have to pick a genre that you want to come out to. They don't want to pay that $30,000 a year ass cab charge.
Legacy. I noticed that Legacy. Yeah, I noticed Legacy was doing that because the undercard.
All of the network fights are doing.
Are they?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's when I noticed it. Was when we were at Legacy 57, was it?
Yes.
Yeah. The undercards were given just the music. They took instrumentals, exactly. They took out the lyrics. And then when it started getting on TV, you started hearing words come back. So maybe it's what gets paid for. So yeah, like you said, they're getting to that point. I mean, you make music, you get it.
As that artist, you do have to get paid any time your song is played, whether it's on a commercial or just as a walkout. I mean, you always have to get royalties for it. So I mean,
interesting.
I guess.
Because there's amateur and under events that all over the U.S. that still just play whatever, but probably because it's not aired on TV, it's. I think once you go live on TV, it's like a form of advertisement.
Thank you.
What's next?
Let's see.
Quit scrolling through my Twitter.
Well, they're all retweets, so I'm going to the questions. This is to both of y'all. My question is, what would it mean to you if they brought more divisions into the UFC? I mean, they're kind of getting repetitive.
Yeah. What would it mean?
We've already answered that, I think.
I mean, 125 and 105 is really the last weight division for women,
145, 125,
Oh, yeah,
105.
145.
They need those divisions. Why do you have 2 women's weight divisions and you have that many for men? Why can there be 9 men's champions and 2 women's champions? Why?
Donny, I got something for you. Remember we were talking about this the other day, how people call UFC, MMA, how we were trying to... Please explain to the people.
Well, if they're watching this show, they already know, but...
Please explain.
We don't train UFC.
I'm still getting those.
Yeah, we don't train
Did you train UFC? No.
You do the UFC fight?
Mixed martial arts is the sport. UFC is a company. Yeah, I've had some interesting conversations with people about... They didn't understand what MMA was, but they damn sure knew what UFC was, and I knew nothing about it because I was saying MMA and they were saying UFC, and they were right and I was wrong. I don't know, man.
And you
the way
see
it
that
goes.
a lot too, which is the stigma that I wish would just leave. And why I feel like I can't stand such an imbalance of things because there are other events. There's Bellator, there's Legacy, Elite XC, all these, whatever. We're not elite. But you get what I'm saying. There's so much else out there, but the mainstream, the media.
Even on UFC Fight Pass, there's 7 or 8 other promotions that are on there. Titan,
Strike Force, Titan,
Combat Americas. Yeah. I mean, there's some solid promotions on there.
Themselves. I mean, you look at the way the media runs these days and how lazy people are. They want everything put right in front of them and told to them.
There are some fucking, and I hear look. Andrea's got a lot of fans who bitch and whine and complain about fucking the UFC Fight Pass, and I'm not paying $9 a month to watch UFC fight. And I think I listen to that. I pay I pay $9 a month every month, have since it came out. You know why? Because I'm a fan of MMA, and I want to watch every fight that comes on. I don't want to watch women's water polo. I want to watch MMA if it's on.
They even have all the old Ultimate Fighters and stuff.
I can pull up any film from old times that I want to pull up, man.
And they make like best knockouts and submission.
Yes,
You know,
man,
they go through good fights. Yeah, they go through good fights, and they make these programs to.
So people shit talk UFC fighters. Like, I'm not giving Dana White $1 more, and he's already getting. I'm like, look, man, this is not just going to Dana White. Yeah. Dana White is dishing this out to these other smaller promos who are on the threshold of being major promos. I don't even
think Dana White controls UFC Fight Pass completely.
He probably does. No, at this point, certainly after the buyout, certainly not.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure that they're going to delegate that source of income to somebody else. You know,
and that's what I want to see is less people be like, oh, you do that UFC fighting stuff, and it's like, no, it's called MMA. That is the sport. You don't go up to somebody and say, oh, to play soccer, and you fight for that one. You fight that. You play that one team game. It's like, no, it's soccer. It is soccer, and then you give information about where you fight, where you play, and what you're doing. And then people are just, you say something about women's MMA, mixed martial arts. I'm like, oh, you mean like that Ronda Rousey girl? And I'm like, she's not the sport. She is merely the champion that ran for so long at 135, and I'm like, she's not the sport.
Do you know how tired I got and get of people asking Andrea, so when you gonna fight Ronda Rousey? And I'm like, let's just start off and say Ronda Rousey was the world champion of the UFC at 135. Andrea is the legacy 125 champ and an Invicta contender. But she's never going to have a 135-pound fight. Not ever, because 125 is her weight class. So stop asking that stupid fucking question and educating yourself.
Yeah. It's just, I feel like it's just one focal point, one area of attention that they're drawing it to. And that's just the way the media works these days, You look at what's going on in our world and how our attention is drawn to one particular thing to put us scared, and then there's a whole other bunch of shit going on in the world that we should be paying attention to, but they put you here.
I don't mean to cut you off, but like my bladder is full. Y'all ever see that movie, it was called Revenge of the Nerds?
What does that have to do with
I'm about to show you.
Long time ago.
Y'all seen that? Yeah, Revenge of the Nerds, remember? There was a dude named Ogre, and he went and pissed one time on Revenge of the Nerds.
This guy.
You remember this? And it was like they were talking, and then all of a sudden they stopped talking. They're listening to Ogre. Well, fuck it. There's somebody out there that remembers. I'm about to show them what Ogre sounds like when he pees. Shit.
Ready? The next question from at Dan MMA fan. Do you eat a lot of food / carbs before a fight? What do you usually eat? That's a good one.
Well, after weigh-ins, I normally like to chow down on some pasta and bread. I like carbs. I do eat a lot of carbs.
Big on the carbs.
But, so, what about you?
Myself, I still keep it clean. So yeah, I mean, I believe you want to have a carb up. It's just as important as rehydrating up for water. And so for me, I still keep it clean. I mean, but I'm the type that I believe in, consuming almost everything. So you give me a piece of fish, I'm going to eat the skin. You give me, or if you give me like a yam, I'm going to eat the whole damn thing, just gnaw on as much as you can and get those nutrients and get that fiber and get those bones and the marrow from it, whatever you can, and just be solid about it and you just eat as much as you can. But I see people go out and they do like pizzas and this and that, and it's just it's gonna burn bad in your body, especially when you've been like anybody like me who's been off of dairy for an extended period of time. Yeah. Dairy will actually start burning your muscles. So for me, it's like like I said, I keep it clean. Salads and some sort of like lighter meat like chicken or fish. Red meat will sit in your stomach and kind of not be good. It'll slow you down, Sure. And exactly like she said, a lot of carbs and whatnot. What about you, Kendrick? What do you like to consume when you're...
Well, y'all said pizza. I just remember Francois on Legacy 2. He ate he ate 2 large pizzas. Knocked the guy out in like the end of the first, second round. So I like to eat pizzas. If I'm not eating pizza, I'll wait till fight night and I'll just devour my opponent.
That was good.
Well said, Black guy.
In the books.
We just eat them.
Oh.
That's awesome.
Where did it go?
All right, so look, we're running out of time. So let's
We'll get it the next one.
If we don't have a real good question to ask, let's end this shit with a good shot, and it'll be awesome.
Wait, the question was, Andrea, how do you feel about this time off, and what do you think?
Oh, this is a good
Gonna be
question. I
better.
like that. Yeah.
I can't find it, but it said,
Oh, I remember that.
Andrea, what do you think about this time off, and how do you feel it's going to make you better, if any way?
Well, she's better than drinking wine, that's for sure.
My God, I'll tell you what.
Okay, so I'm drinking like wine today. But anyways, I think it's nice to have some time off. I mean, I'm so used to, for the past, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, you know, it's like I've just been going straight nonstop, like fight. You know, 1 year I got like 14 fights in. So this year, obviously, it's a little slower. I've only had 1 fight under my belt. It really sucks, though, because my pay is hurting. My bank account suffers. But my body is healing. And, you know, I mean, right now I'm ready to go. But I've been training hard. Black Dynamite over here has been helping me out in the mornings with my strength and conditioning. And I see a huge difference in my body.
Let me cut you off because there's some shit I want to go into. First week, Amanda Bell been here first week. How was first week of training for you?
I'm already injured.
Already injured? Okay.
I'm joking. It was my fault.
So-
I stubbed my toe.
We got to switch roles with Black Dynamite because last week when we had him on, he was Black Dynamite, my fighter. Now he's Black Dynamite, my assistant striking coach, and also the strength and conditioning, speed and agility coach, head speed and agility coach at Karate Mafia. So tell us, we at one point this week had 11 girls. 11 girls at one time on the mats. 11 girls at one time on the mats. Most of them were pros. Some of them were amateurs. Almost all of them had fights. So what did you see going on this week that we need to change or need to do different?
Well, I just think everything was swell at that point, but sometimes, you know, people, they kind of take advantage of situations, and when you have an opportunity to be in an environment like this, a competitive environment, you have to take full advantage with being on time. If one person goes to get up and make breakfast or get up and run, everybody gets up. Nobody's left behind. It's I don't want to compare it to military combatives, but you know, if a guy's injured out in the field, nobody gets left behind. So we kind of take the same way in the training camp. So if we're supposed to be there at 9, damn it, we're there at 9.
If you're there at 9:01,
exactly, it's punishment. You know, punishment by death. Whatever it is, sparring, extra curricular activity work.
That's right.
After practice, you know. So
That's right.
yeah.
I think
So
what I like is you make them do 50 push-ups, and if they're late again, it's another 20 added on.
That's
that
right.
50,
That's
and then another
right.
20, and then another
that's
20.
right, because
Push-ups all day.
Yeah.
that's how you get better. You know, you can't get better if everyone that comes to this training camp is being buddies. You know, like I
Buddies.
come here to make friends. No, that just happens to be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? You know, you may get
You're gonna
busted
make
up in the gym
relationships.
and make relationships, right? But when you come down here, it's like you're almost on your own, and you have to take that respect, man. You got to take it. And I think sometimes we get lackadaisical because the old school Karate Mafia, when there was no females, way back, it was that way.
That's right.
It was that way. So we got to get back to the roots, man. We got to get back to the roots. I'm a firm believer in that.
We can't water shit down just because somebody whines and cries.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And you know, this camp has been too strong to let outside influences water it down and drag it down, ruin the chemistry. Because we got great.
We
chemistry.
got nice chemistry.
We got good chemistry, and I don't want that destroyed.
Yeah, I've been thoroughly enjoying myself since I've been here. I've been getting up in the mornings with you guys and getting out there.
Right,
and, you know, I mean, I still have some slight injuries from my last fight, like as far back as May. But you know, I'm working my way around them. If I can't do this, then I can do this. You know.
But if you're physically injured, you have the presence of mind to sit down and get a mental picture.
Yeah, I'll still get like the other day when I
like-
was just my knee just needed some rest.
Yeah.
I still came to class and watched.
There's no way you can learn
I
if
don't
you
wanna
get
miss
hurt
anything.
and you just stay somewhere where your sport's not going on. You're just laid
Lock
up.
yourself in your bedroom.
Yeah,
It ain't happening.
yeah. It doesn't work.
And what I love about being here too is there obviously is this great camaraderie with you guys, and I'm really really embracing so much. And the fact of the matter is that you folks open your doors, house people here, feed them, like you said, 90% of the time, and don't ask for anything back.
Right.
So for me,
Except to train hard.
Except to bust my ass.
That's it.
Exactly. That's all.
It.
Yeah, and I said I'll pitch in any way I can, even if it's just taking the trash out, and helping, because this is a house, this is a family, and we're all in here making the mess together, and we all should be working together, and so that's even more of a reason why I'm like, so gritty about not stepping back from practice for a little injury. I can find my way around it. I can still drill. I can still find a way, to put in the
What
work.
happens if you get injured in the first round? You come out, bang, you start the fight with a kick. Bang, you stub your toe, and your toe's swelling up throughout the 5 minutes of the round. When you go sit on the stool, what are you going to do? You're going to quit? My toe hurts?
Yeah.
Hey, coach, my toe hurts.
Yeah.
I can't go no more.
I can't go.
Hey,
Like,
coach.
What are you going to do?
Hey, coach, my ear hurts real bad. I think I got cauliflower ear that time. I can't go back out. Man,
You're right.
look, man, chop that fucking ear off and get your ass back out there. You know what I'm saying? Look, you don't need that pinky toe. You can walk without it. Go. Motherfucker, what's wrong with you?
You got another foot.
What I've learned over the few years because I used to have anxiety problems, going out, getting too charged up. But the fight's the fun time, man. It's absolutely the fun time. You gotta bust ass in training. Right. That's when it sucks. That's when you get up when you don't want to get up, or whatever time it is, whatever the situation may be. That's when you grind. You're sick. You got a cough. You take some Dayquil. You push through it, because the fight time, the ultimate drug kicks in, adrenaline. Anybody
Damn right. We talked about that shit last week.
Yeah, anybody
Nothing
can
better
have
than
fun
that.
at that time.
Yeah,
So
every time I was coming over here and you were sitting right over there in that chair and you were just like steadily just holding your energy. Like,
Yeah.
I even wanted to be like, "What's up, bro?" And you're like, "What's up? What's up?" And you just stayed with the headphones and you were just like straight chill.
So we just about out of time, and I hate to cut because we're having a good conversation. We'll pick this shit up next week, and hopefully, our Vietnamese trader friend Andy Nguyen will have her Vietnamese ass back.
Did she see this?
Don't get your hopes up. She's gone.
I mean, I decorated my whole house with another woman. This would cause a divorce in most families. I've got this other woman all over my kitchen, and
He's got this Asian broad all over his kitchen.
but Adrian's like, that's my wife, so I don't care.
We miss her though.
I love Andy. I love Andy.
should we do
It's not a lot more than,
Should we do a shot before
maybe
we,
I look like. But anyways,
You have one
No.
opportunity to
Come on, shot girl.
save your job. You have
oh
one
wait.
last moment
So-
to redeem yourself.
I'm
Oh, it's
myself.
That wasn't me, ladies and gentlemen. That was.
Before look, we're gonna take our shots.
I love sake. I get excited.
We're gonna toast our shots. We're gonna toast to our sponsors that also help sponsor the show. The ones that.
For sure.
So
We're gonna let Wendy do her thing, and then you go ahead and call
I'm
them
gonna be over
out.
here microwaving this shit real quick, so get on with the sponsor.
Microwaving, huh?
One thing I'll do that I love.
you want to say cold? Okay, we could say.
Like it radiation on them augmented boobies. Sometimes it makes them stick out craziness.
Woo.
All right, for the sponsors that helped with this video cast, Love MMA, Lettuce Bank.
Love. Look. You said love. We got love there. We got love over on that man. We got love all over this place. We love.
We love love. Fighter Alias.
They're on this banner
Fighter
too.
Alias,
They're right
yes.
there.
They're on our banners. They're all over the place.
They're over there on that one.
Fighter Alias has some awesome fight wear, so check them out. Also, MMA Roadhog. He supports all of us female.
Sam MMA Roadhog. You
Yeah.
gotta check that dude. He has his own podcast, and he has some interesting guests on that. You should check that out. It's cool.
He's
It's a cool deal.
Great person, great sponsor. Martial Arts Life. They've been with me since the beginning, since like my second or third MMA fight. So, Martial Arts Life, I love you. And also Slept Fightwear. They were here last week, and would like to say thank you, Slept, for our new fightwear. And thanks for also hanging out with us. And who else?
Derek Eason, Land of Timber.
Derek Eason, always Derek Eason. He's been with us since the beginning. You know.
Mike McGee for sponsoring the sushi tonight.
Oh yes, thank you, Mike McGee.
Way, Mike McGee.
Mike McGee, that sushi was so.
I ate it
That was
all.
hot.
I ate it all.
I had no idea.
And anyone else?
That's it. We love everybody.
Love
Everybody that's on these
Karate
banners.
Mafia.
Hey, wait, and here's two future sponsors. If you want to help sponsor the next podcast,
All you gotta do is reach out.
reach out. We do this every week, and you know, you can get your name up on the wall. So.
Yep.
Oh, you gotta be quicker than that.
Oh, you gotta. I got a dollar for you. I got a dollar for you.
Bam.
Cheers, baby. I got you. You gotta be quicker now.
Yeah.